Hello and welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Eric, joined once again with Bevan,
Hey guys, how's it going?
bringing you some more Footballers Wives, Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. Tom, you'll roll the credits and we'll chat. I do like it. It's a fun show, and I actually feel like I know what's happening now. Where, like, the first season, I felt like it was like every episode, I'm like, what the hell's going on? But now I feel like I'm in it. I'm in the.
And the first episode does give the clever, like a nice little recap by Tanya. So
Episode 1 is called Just Can't Give Up. Um, Aired January 8th, 2003. I have a character highlight of Frank.
no, yeah,
I, yeah, so I looked him up. John Forgeham, I'm guessing you say. I could be saying it wrong. Spelled Forgeham.
yeah,
Um, plays Frank. He died in 2017, sadly, but he was pretty old when this show was on, it seems. He did another soap, a British soap called Doctors, which I know was on for a long time. I think Emma Samms did that. There's several other people that we know did it.
yeah.
Um, and he was also in a movie with my angel, Tanya Roberts, Sheena,
Oh,
in 1984.
oh yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. And I was like, oh, yeah, I knew him already before I even knew this because I've seen that movie like 20 times. Um, so in this episode, we have Holly still missing. We have a new baby and Frank's trial,
Yeah.
which uh, I thought the trial would go on a little bit longer, but it didn't. I was like,
Well, the episodes are a bit longer. They're like about 49, 50 minutes, and there's only 8 of them, so they have to cover a lot.
they do, they do. I guess like with being with soap. So if you ever watch Peyton Place, like a trial goes on for at least half of a year. Like I'm not
Yeah,
even, but it's like it kind of is. It kind of like Peyton Place is kind of like real life. Like you know how trials like sometimes it's 6 months from now. Like it feels like that's how it is on Peyton Place. Like they'll have it like once a week, and like they
yeah.
whatever, what do they call it, like adjourn or whatever for like a week or two, and then they go back like whatever. Um,
Well, it's also too like the primetime format got sort of honed in by the time you've got like things like Footballers' Wives. Peyton Place still has the sort of episode count of daytime, even if it was sort of like an evening show.
yeah, I think it was on. I want to say it was on 3 times a week. I'm not sure if it was on the whole
But
entire year or like
but
half a.
that sort of sounds a little bit like even the way the Australian ones are. So like Home and Away and Neighbours, like I always call them like daytime format because of the episode counts, the way they do their stories. But they were on in the evenings, so like I think they used to complement each other even in back in the day. I don't even know if they still do it now because I haven't caught up on them in ages. But Neighbours used to be on at like 6:30, and then you'd have Home and Away on at 7.
So, do they have daytime soaps there?
Not
Like
So the
daytime?
only daytime, so those are kind of our daytime soaps, but they were on in the evening. The only daytime soaps we ever really got in the classic format were US ones.
So, what is on in your daytime? Is it just news or like?
So it'd be like talk shows, like normal stuff, like the normal daytime sort of schedule. But Australia like didn't really have like I think there were like attempts made, but a lot of ours were all like evening sort of ones. So like at least that's when they were on, but their format was much very similar to the way the daytime is structured over there. So like you have your half hour ones, the same with here. Neighbours and Home and Away were half hour, but then like back in the day when it was airing, you had like E Street, and E Street was like an hour long, but it has like the episode counts of well, not exactly the same as prime time. Not exactly the same as daytime. There's less because it didn't go that long, as long as
Right.
other shows. Blah blah blah. But it has like 400 episodes in like 5 years. So if we're talking prime time, 500 100 episodes is 5 years roughly. If you're talking prime time, even Dallas doesn't have more than 400. It doesn't. It only has like what 300 and what 20 something episodes or something.
Dallas, I think has 350 something. I can't
Yeah,
remember though.
something like that. But like generally, and that's 14 years. So like you know, your daytime formats are always have the bulk in episode counts because they're the drawn out stories. So like that's why when I say like, oh, Home and Away Neighbors daytime, it's the same format, but the time slot was evening because that's when everybody came home from work. That's when you got like people sitting down watching the evening news and shit like that.
All right, so Donna and Ian are still looking for their girl, or they're not. I don't even know if they're still looking, but she's still missing. And there's like a body found of this other little girl or something, but it ends up not being. I was nervous. I thought for sure it was
Yeah.
going to be. Oh, she dead.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like they lead you into thinking that it's Holly, and then like Ian's having those nightmares about her.
Also, I forgot to mention that it's 5 months later, apparently.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a fair few months later. So in that way, you're right with the trial. It did take a while to sort of like swing in, but I
yeah,
also feel like the episode it was already in swing while when the episode started.
I didn't know Salvatore would be back, but he's back. He looks like he's modeling. The affair is still on with Donna. They're still having their fling. It's been like I think they've been doing it for about 6 months, apparently. Ian's not doing good on the team because he's worried about his kid, of course. Uh,
Yeah.
and are they living apart right now? I couldn't tell.
So I feel like it's like ill defined, but I think he's sort of like staying in the house. I think he's there, but they haven't really been sleeping in the same rooms or anything like that. They've been like really distant with each other.
Right. And we see so Donna is still having the affair. She wants to be with Salvatore, it looks like.
Mhm.
She wants to break it to Ian, but she's afraid to do that because he's still missing his daughter. Um, and then at the end of that, we see that he sees. We're not sure. We're not 100% sure it's his daughter, but it looks like he might see in the end of it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Getting
So like
pretty.
Ian's going through a whole lot of like the work pressures as well because he hasn't really been committing to the job and yada yada yada. You've got Stefan that's kind of like giving him shit about it, and then you know it's all kind of a bit messy for him. So like, and Donna's running around with Salvatore, and she's like, when they talk about the idea of like, oh, what are we going to do about this sort of thing? She's like, well, I can't do anything about it right now. It'd like wreck him, sort of thing. Blah blah blah.
So want to kick him when he's down, type thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then Ian, oh, excuse me. And then Ian, what he gets that report, like someone calls in, and it's like just before their big game towards the end of the episode, and he scoots out to sort of verify it. Um, Obviously, like I think Jason like starts calling after him and shit, and Stefan's kind of pissed off because he goes and sees Donna in the players' lounge and sort of like, you better know what he's doing, sort of thing. So like there's all those sort of pressures coming in on Ian, and obviously Donna's got what she's got going on with Salvatore. So it's all
And
very mixed up at the moment. And yeah, at the end,
how did
apparently
he?
Holly.
How
Beg
did
your
he get?
pardon?
How did he get the call to possibly where Holly was?
So it was some. So obviously, like they're famous, so everybody knows the kid's missing. So
Right.
basically, I think he's just like a delivery driver or something, like a postal worker or something that spotted this kid that looks like her
Mm.
and is living with like this old woman. And he goes, well, and he brings up the ethnicity. He said, well, the old lady is white, you know? So he goes, I get, you know, I didn't judge, but I thought it was a bit odd. And then I actually saw the kid and it looks like her, you know, and it's all that.
They caught the who was it? The pool guy or something? Kidnapped
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
They
yeah, they
caught
did. Yeah,
finale,
they
right?
did catch him. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did catch him, but he didn't like disclose where the kid was. So they were looking for a body essentially. But he's dumped her with this old woman.
Yeah, I feel like the story sometimes like could have but again, you said it's like, 50 minutes and it's 8 episodes. So I feel like sometimes we miss some things because like I guess because they do it off screen or whatever. So we didn't see
The
that guy
real, the,
again.
No, but it's been 6 months. You can, and like the kid's still missing, and like what was it? They did know the guy's identity because he revealed himself to Donna towards the end. You know, so they would have been able to trace him and track him down. He just didn't like. There is like the presumptions of like the time period, like a time passing while between the seasons. But you're right. So in that sense, with because it's condensed, it's why some things are referred to in dialogue. So Marie's absence in the opening of season 2 is sort of noted, but I don't think it's really discussed until like the second episode or something
Yeah,
like that.
I thought that was weird too that Marie was gone because I
Yeah,
expected to see her back.
but then you find out why.
Right.
And it is dealt with more just in side dialogue too. It's a part of their argument.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so Kyle and Chardonnay and Jackie, of course, the baby's here now. His name is Patrick,
Hmm.
aka Patty.
Hmm.
Um, Chardonnay's because they're always very dramatic, like with their wedding. So they pose for pictures, like fancy pictures and
Very
whatever.
fancy. Yeah.
um, she says to Jackie, she's like, "Oh, of course, we'll put the money in the trust." Like she's trying to whatever. Jackie is being what is it called when you're like a helicopter mom? Like she's trying to be the mother, but right, she signed her rights over in Florida.
Yeah.
Why Florida? Although I shouldn't ask why Florida, because why not Florida? Because I feel like everything terrible is in Florida. Oh, sorry, Florida people, but we have there's a lot of
Well,
issues.
there's
In Florida.
probably somewhere where they wouldn't have been harassed too much. That's the only thing I think of. It's like out of the UK, it's like, there's places you can go there that are nice, so
Right.
have your baby away from, and like what, football/soccer, it's not like as huge in the US, is it? So,
Yeah.
especially like back then. So like maybe it was easier to go around unnoticed in the US.
And here's another story. Well, I guess it is kind of continuing, but it kind of wraps up quick. There's a body in the pool, and it's Dr. Sheena Hamilton, this who was stalking Kyle. And I'm like, I didn't even get the vibe that she was stalking him. I knew she was always around, but I never was like, oh, she's stalking him. Like I didn't
No,
know.
they have like, so it's kind of leaves it open as to what's going on there at the end of series 1, and then in series 2, she's in the pool, and you're like, well, what the hell? And then it's like you hear Kyle's story, and then until Hazel comes along and ends up backing him up with like evidence, it's sort of like all dealt with sort of like as if it's so like a lot of it's the stuff that was like lived in terms of when the show was off air. So it's like the characters have actually lived that 6 months, so stuff that's been happening,
Weird.
like Kyle kept talking to was it Sheena
Yeah.
while Chardonnay was over in Florida, you know what I mean? And then it started getting weird, and he's tried to push her away, and she's gotten more psycho. And then obviously Chardonnay and Jackie are coming back, and yeah, so it's all sort of culminated in that. But you only hear it through Kyle's sort of like defense when he's trying to tell Chardonnay what's happening, and like through that fight. So like it's interesting that I do understand in terms of like where we don't necessarily see everything, but I find it still interesting that you get. I liked that you still. I do like this element of the characters live in between episodes. Sorry, in between seasons. They don't just stop. You know.
So yeah, it's funny. I didn't even think about that. Like I was just like, yeah, I didn't even remember. Like, yeah, I knew it was 5 months later, but a lot of times things pick up like right where things left off in
Hmm.
like chicken soap. So like it just throws me that I didn't even think that way. Even though like
Yeah.
Days of Our Lives did that when they did the 5 year time jump, and that's exactly how it turned out, which I don't think you saw yet. But it's really cool because think
I'm
about
years away from that so far.
think about what could have happened in all of those 5 years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Somebody's dead, somebody becomes a nun, all this crazy stuff, and you're just like, how did we get here? Which I
Yeah.
didn't even think of that until now. So thank you for that.
Oh no, it's just it's
We've
it's just a way of like reworking the narrative format in a comfortable subgenre, like so I mean I don't necessarily know if that was like narrative intention, but it does sort of carry through in terms of like so it does there is a few annoying things that are kind of dropped a bit in the later part of the series, but which I feel is more like writer problems. Um, but this sort of stuff is well done, I think. So like it's sort of for me the first 4 series, like it did sort of dip in series 5, but I still wish it wasn't cancelled. I mean,
It is.
it was like
No,
one bad season. Like not even a
no,
bad season. It's
that
just
was
a little bit not as
that
awesome.
that was the thing. I didn't think that way. So like in my head, when he said these things, I'm like, that didn't happen because I saw the first season.
Oh,
That's what I was
so like
like.
everything, yeah. So everything with the story must happen on screen type thing, rather than things happening that. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right. Because our soaps don't do that here often, so I'm not used to that thinking. But now
Yeah,
that I
no.
know, I will continue on knowing that, and then I'll expect the unexpected in the future.
Well, it just sort of depends. I mean, like you think about what was it? Falcon Crest Series 5 picks up what 2, 3, so a few months after Series 4, after like Richard and Maggie get blown to shit. Like it's like I don't think it's 6 months, but I think it was like 3 or 4 months later.
So Tanya and Jason, they're in court for Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she, of course, lies and said she got attacked or whatever. They end up being the godparents of Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Jason still thinks that Jackie had an abortion. He confronts Jackie later on, and I forget if this is the one I put was gone for months, and I don't know what that means now.
Oh, okay. So like he's sort of like noticed her nipples. She's lactating.
Oh, right. Because
Yeah.
she was in
And
Florida for months, is what, right?
beg your pardon?
Because she was in Florida, like she was away for
Yeah,
months.
she went with Jackie. So she went with Chardonnay. So it was like, oh, Jackie, like putting it like that, like off to help Chardonnay, blah blah blah. And if you remember in series one, it's kind of odd because her and Jackie didn't really get along, and now suddenly they're off on like a months long trip to the US. So like, yeah, Jason, and then Jason sort of notices her like lactating a bit and starts to put it together and confronts her.
Yeah. So I think is that all?
And with the trial and stuff, Tanya basically like they basically make Frank look like a sort of adult lunatic, so that like because of his coma and his medical problems and stuff, that he doesn't really remember things as they were. And so when he attacked Tanya, it was over a perceived affair that wasn't happening. So like Tanya and Jason are backing each other's stories up, and because Frank can't directly remember things, it makes him sound like a lunatic.
Right.
And like even Hazel says it. She's like, the more you remember, the more I do think you've lost your mind.
I feel like
Because he
Jason.
mentions Nurse Dunkley as well, like the rapey nurse, and
Yeah.
like the prosecution just basically laughs at him.
Yeah, I guess because there's no proof she's gone. She
He's
was
like, "Oh,
dead.
is this the other woman that was this the nurse that was also having sex with you?" Like the way he puts it is so condescending, and like he's imagining these things happening.
Yeah. But I compare like Jason. I feel like Jason and Tanya are like the 2000s JR and Sue Ellen. because
Jason, I think Jason's a worse person.
because they're like toxic for each
Oh
other.
yeah,
Tanya's
oh yeah,
always doing drugs since like day one and still doing it and
yeah.
doesn't like, want to stop ever. So
And I don't think it's a
um
scene where she doesn't have a cigarette either.
right.
But Jason,
So
seriously, he gets so much worse. It is
I don't
so
think
much.
he's that bad now. I don't think he's that
Pardon?
bad. I don't think he's that bad right now in these episodes.
No, but yeah,
But we'll see.
he's a really awful person.
So episode 2, The Ties That Bind. January 15th, 2003, it aired. So what's that, 22 years ago, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Um, I know, scary, right? Because when you watch this, I feel like it could be, it's not like, it doesn't feel dated. Like it feels like it could have been a few weeks ago, like this aired.
I like it. Sort of three onwards, everything gets very like campy glam. So like there's so much like shine, and people just wear the most opulent, ridiculous shit as it goes on. Like the hairstyles, and it's all very like it just it reminds me of like the like I don't know. It's just very British as well. Like it's hard to describe it. Like it's just yeah, it's great.
So Donna and Ian, he finds Holly in the beginning. Yeah, like you said, that older lady was there just taking care of her. He breaks in somehow, gets her. The Sal affair. I think was she gonna stop having an affair with Sal, or did she not care?
I think she's like it's more like the excuses keep coming. So like she doesn't want to do it now because the family's finally back together and he's like happy for the moment. Like she wants to like not wreck the family immediately now that it's reunited sort of thing. Like there's all these like and like in a lot of ways because of the extreme situation, like their daughter was kidnapped, you can sort of see where she's coming from, but it is still the excuses.
Yeah, because um, Frank wants Ian off the team because again, he's not playing with.
Yeah, Frank's just like not taking any shit from anybody, and if he doesn't care if they're going to stuff around, they feel like because Ian's taking more time off, and they feel like since because like due to everything that they've been more than fair, and now Frank's getting the shit big time.
Right, and the team isn't doing good. So I mean, of course, you have to take action. Can't,
Yeah,
it is what it is. Um, Archie puts Ian on the transfer list to go to another team, I guess.
yeah.
Um, they owe Sal money, £500,000.
So I think it's because Sal had the money to front for the extortion, like the money, the ransom money, not extortion, but yeah, the ransom money.
No, right. Oh, right. I was
Yeah,
wondering what he was, and I
yeah,
couldn't.
because like so I think they like basically like lost it more or less. So like they got to pay it off. It's not like from a bank or anything, but that's why she brings it up. She's like, he loaned us the ransom money for God's sake, you know.
She wanted him to like stay on the team or whatever, but he's like done. He doesn't want any parts of it anymore. His heart's not in it, and stressful
Yeah,
losing your kid, and he's like over it. And in the end of that, he busts Donna and
yeah.
Salvatore banging.
Yes, because we see the son, his son, the son that they were looking for in earlier season one, with the
Daniel.
daughter all sort of head out with Ian to go somewhere, and then he comes back. What is it? He just forgot something, like you do sometimes. And yeah, they were already sort of heavy breathing, going at it.
And so, so Daniel, how did they get Daniel? Because he wasn't with them in the end of last season, right? Because he was still with the
What was
men.
it? They so there was that scene where Nola comes in and is like upset because she basically doesn't have the money and they're his natural parent. She doesn't really have a leg to stand on
Mm,
outside, like at least as far as the show is concerned. Obviously, to be thinking, but she can't afford to fight. Blah blah blah. Um, I think somewhere in series one, it's mentioned that they've come to terms, like they share custody. So he would still be seeing Nola, but we don't see Nola anymore.
it's
And
off screen.
there was a well, as we get on, I'll tell you this will make sense more later. So we'll keep going first.
Well, that's all I have for Donna and Ian.
Yeah. Well, that is mostly their shit for this episode. So there's that.
Jason and Tanya. Frank gets a detective to find Jeanette Dunkley, your
Yeah,
girl,
they're trying to track down old Nurse Dunkley,
the rapist.
the crazy.
Um,
She's so bizarre. Yeah.
she's out with Oh yeah, Tanya's out with Hazel. Um, is Hazel a lesbian or is she like
Yeah.
bi? So she's a full blown lesbian.
Yeah, mostly.
They're hanging out, they're drinking, they're doing some cocaine. Um, Jason offers the life with Jackie. He just wants to be with Jackie and have Patty and grow up. Have him grow up with them. I'm like, this is weird for Jason. This is why I don't see like I don't know. I don't see what he's doing as that bad at the point.
Well, in my opinion, this largely stems from the fact that Jason's adopted and has like parental issues. So, given the way you what, just literally wait. Episode
It-
5. It's literally the next episode after we watched.
yeah, I did watch the preview and it did look wild. Um,
Yes.
So, and Tanya slept with Hazel.
Yeah,
Right. I was like,
that doesn't
oh,
really lead anywhere. They just did it, and that's it.
just
And they
did it.
stay friends.
Yeah, it seems like it. And then
Yeah, they
Jason
just, yeah. They're sitting
wants
there
to have,
trucking shit about man, getting drunk, getting high. You know.
yeah, and Jason wants to have a baby with Tanya because
Yes.
he's one baby, so he's trying to make another one.
Yeah. So Jackie's basically sort of argued the point with Jason, and that she will actually refuse all claim if there's like if you go in and start shit. Basically, like she's not gonna ruin um, Kyle's life, sort of thing, by exposing everything. Blah blah blah. So Jason's kind of like backed off a little bit and resolved to try and start a family with Tanya,
And then
but he doesn't really back off.
what does Tanya do with the pills? I was so confused with that. Why should she them all out?
Oh, I think that's just because she was hiding her birth control. So instead of having it in the sachet, she like hides her birth control somewhere else.
So Kyle and Chardonnay, she got Patty out. They got a tape. Wait, what? They got a tape threatening Sheena. Oh, this is where he's on like got arrested or whatever.
Yeah, so like Chardonnay's all pissed off and everything because she doesn't really know what to believe. And then Hazel, after Kyle starts getting properly investigated and everything because of the answering machine message, which basically said, "Leave me alone because you're a psycho," blah, blah, blah. And he
Okay.
threatens to kill her at the end. And then, what was it? It's not too long later that he goes to Hazel for help, which she basically says you should have done anyway. And she just she actually finds like history there of Sheena doing this to like multiple people. Like she's kind of like a fixated lunatic, and that
Um,
Kyle was telling the truth.
and he says that he had asked her out, but like it was right
Yeah,
after something had happened, and he was drunk and whatever, and she slaps him really good.
yeah, she did.
Um,
Yeah, he sort of asked her out and then backed off in the. That was the scene that we did see in the bar with Sheena.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's the part where he's talking about. And otherwise, yeah. And he's
right.
like, and I sort of did flirt with her, but she's just kept on and on. It's gotten more serious. Like she's gotten weird, basically.
Chardonnay busts Jackie breastfeeding Patty.
Yes. Because earlier we see Jackie sort of sneaking into the room to kind of, oh, and she's been able to sort of play it off. And yeah, no, this time Chardonnay has gone in there and actually caught Jackie full sort of nursing.
Yep. Hazel wants a retraction in the paper and threatens to sue the papers or whatever.
I think it's like the police. She's gonna like file a lawsuit against their precinct or whatever.
Yeah, and Kyle kicks Jackie out for breastfeeding.
Yeah, they go off and yeah. And then you see Jackie do exactly what she said she wasn't going to do, and it's stuff like, "You can't keep me away from my son," and it's just like,
Anything else about these
oh
episodes?
no. I think it's sort of like, generally, it's yeah. We've got Ian finding Salvatore Raylan his missus. There's stuff like that, so that all plays out. I don't, I don't even know episode three's last name. I was going to say episode three, and then I realized I didn't know the title.
It's all right. That'll be on our next podcast. All right. Well, yeah, these are good episodes. I feel like they move pretty quick, like because so much happens in these 50 minutes. So it's just like one thing after the
Yeah,
other, and it's wild. It's a good time. But thank you, Patreon subscribers. If you're seeing us now, you're on Patreon because it's early access for this. If not, you'll see us later in the year on our free side. Thank you all too. Um, we're doing a lot of stuff on our Patreon, a lot of different watches, tons of All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital are all back for us in there. So join our Patreon today. And thank you, everyone, and have a good one. Till next time, more football, everybody.
bye.